Welcome back to Palmetto Zoo. My name is Wix, and today we're building a barn and a stable house with the Highland cattle, and we're building a little shop next to it. So stay put and let's go in and build some stuff. Alright, welcome back to Palmetto Zoo. Today we're building a Highland cattle, as I said, with a little barn and stable house. I've been very inspired by many of them since I have watched a lot of them at Blueprint Bonanzas for Planet Zoo, and there have been so many different ones I have seen, but I felt like I wanted to give my own go and try give build another one here. So this one is heavily inspired by a picture I found on Pinterest, as you can see right here on the screen, and I really like this concept of this barn since it has like this sort of two different roofs that kind of like adds to the middle and then has a little top tower. And I really think that's a cool way of integrating this sort of build into this area here. So what we're doing is we're building it kind of like we did with the goats. A little bit of a petting zoo, but over here in this area more of a family kids zone area. So we'll have the playground, we'll have the goats, now we'll have the Highland cattle. Eventually we'll build a few shops around and just have a nice little sitting area as well. And all of it is gonna work and be very well integrated together. We are, I would say we're kind of like in the end game of Palmetto Zoo. The inside of the zoo, we're not started on the outside yet, like the water I want to do, like the little coastline, a few houses here and there. But we are getting very close, and it's nice to see that this zoo here is starting to have less and less gaps between the areas. And that's what I really like, and what was the purpose of Palmetto Zoo was to have different themed areas around the zoo and also have a little bit more of a realistic touch here and there. So I'm very excited to build further on into this project. Next video will most likely be the nocturnal house, which I have Oticus to help me with, and also a little speed build from the front, like the facade of the nocturnal house. But yeah, mainly what I do here today is a lot of things you've already seen before. As you can see, I'm kind of like trying to add this white and bluish color, and I think it works so good here with these colors together. And I was kind of like in the little bit in the dilemma of what color I should go for, but I really like this light blue color. This is really nice, and it's also a little bit different from the other color schemes I've been using throughout Palmetto so far. So it's nice to give a little bit, you know, a little bit playful and like nice color to the area here. So yeah, we pretty much have, like as I say, I think we're gonna make like 25 episodes of this whole series. And as you can see, this is 18th, so we're missing like 7 so far. And I have some plans, like I want to do a meerkat habitat. We obviously need gators because we are in Florida, so we need that as well. And then we obviously need, as I mentioned, the nocturnal house, which is gonna have like 6 or 7 different animals too. So that will also be like a big bunch of animals we will add to the whole area here and to the whole zoo. And the outskirts of the zoo is gonna have like a few houses, maybe some junk food stores. And then we obviously already have a few builds made from my community members. So very exciting times. But yeah, you kind of like heard the plan here of the thing that we kind of gonna do. So yeah, it's very nice to be closer to the end of this series here. But as you can see, we are still building, and I'm kind of like adding this shade, like this little extra roof to the side here, because this is where the employees, the staff facility, are kind of like are going to be able to walk in towards the barn and then outside of the other place. And I kind of really dig this, like literally I think it's super cool, and I like that they have different, like as you can see here at the bottom of the poles here, the pillars, I am adding like a little foundation stump that kind of like gives them the amount it needs to kind of like be able to stand there by itself, a little bit of a support, and it just adds a little bit more to the pillar that you just don't have like a wide pillar going into the ground. I feel like it's a little bit more realistic in that way to have what you can see I'm building here now, like a little extra thing to the pillar to make it stand right towards the ground. And I think it really adds to the build too. Like these small mini details is really what makes a build stand out if you look at it. But yeah, we are building more and more here, as you can see. Now we are going towards the gate, or the port, I guess we can call it, where I'm using these small pieces here and kind of like just making it feel like there's something here that can kind of like slide, you know, slide doors left and right. And I think that's gonna look, it ends up looking amazing. Obviously I have to change it a little bit when I get the animals in, because apparently it's too little of a hitbox for the cattles. So unfortunately, but I cut that out, so eventually it'll just be a little bit of a bigger white space between the two slide doors here. So but yeah, it's really going great here, and I really like how this build is turning out, because I wanted to have like a little subtle barn, like stable house and nothing else. And I really think that this was what I needed to have at this area here. We did the little boundaries here for the habitat, and now we can kind of slowly start to align and measure what and where we want stuff at. And I was kind of like, I wanted to do it a little bit different from the goat area, so I was kind of like, okay, why don't we just try to build some fencing and some hedges around, but we'll get to that later. Now to finish off the build, like how I kind of wanted it, we're building this little extra tower here that's also 100% custom made, and I felt like it really adds to it as well, adding these sort of custom shutters here, or blinds as you can call them. And then afterwards I'm just kind of duplicating it to a square, and then afterwards I'm working on the roof to kind of like make it extra crispy. And I really love how this turns out. And I'm also doing some interior work afterwards, so whatever pokes through the roof, you will not be able to see that inside of the barn. So yeah, really nice at that. You can kind of like hide that away with some more planks and etc. But we're doing the roof here now, and I'm really happy for how it turned out. Honestly, it was pretty damn cool, and especially also doing it with the custom. Like these Indonesian tile roof pieces are just so good. And yes, I'm hoping that we're getting these smaller assets and pieces in Planet Coaster 2. Now we will have a scaling, obviously, but it's still nice to just have a few pieces we don't have to do anything with. And that's kind of like what I'm hoping we will get with Planet Coaster 2 as well. As you can see, we kind of like have the whole roof sorted out now. So now I'm just kind of like trying to combine the sides here, which sometimes can be a little bit tricky. But with this sort of style and adding a little bit of extra plank on the side here to kind of like make it look like they're hitting it, can really hide away the rest of the holes and gaps between the roof here and make it look perfect in a way, as you can see here. So I'm very happy for how this whole top tower turned out. I'm not adding anything in it. This is mainly just for aesthetic and for visions, but it really does add a lot to the whole build here after we get this on the top here, and that really adds the whole area. It gives it a super nice barn vibe, and yeah, and that's the whole purpose with this area in general. Like we got the petting zoo on the right here, and then we'll also have a petting zoo on the left, and then we'll have the big playground. So it is kind of like a very playful, very like family oriented area that we're building here, which I've always wanted to do as well, and I think it fits very well for Palmetto. And we have it like kind of like on the left side, and then in the middle and on the right and around we have a little bit more of a zoo kind of situation, and I think that's gonna add so much more to the things. So I'm kind of like just adding a few clutter pieces here and there, and now I'm just kind of like trying to see what I can do with adding all this dirt mounds, and like just trying to see what it would look like. And then after that, I wanted to have something behind here that attracts people as well. And since I don't have a lot of drink shops so far, I felt like it would be neat to do a little Goldby smoothie kind of situation here as well. So I'm kind of like just trying to do like a little small barn over here as well, which also turned out very nicely, honestly. And I think it fits well for the area, and it adds to the area as well. And I think I'm not doing a lot of interior in this one. Like it's mainly just a shop, and that's mainly what it's just gonna be. And that's kind of like what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a little bit more interaction for families to go over here and, like, you know, be part of something like when I said with the playground and the petting zoos. And I felt like I needed some more of a shop situation here, because I have sitting areas, I just don't have shops. So I felt like with this sort of little barn mini shop here, that I can maybe duplicate that and add that to another place too, and then have a little bit more of a sitting eating area for the families. And I felt like it's pretty neat how it turned out. Like, it's very simple, very small, but sometimes it's all you need. Like, you see a lot of these small little shacks and sheds just standing around in zoos, where there's like a little building, like little shop interior inside with like small little, it could be like refreshments, or it could be like cookies or all kind of things. And I felt like having this here would do the trick. And as I say, maybe I can eventually add it to more areas. And I also kind of need, I want a toilet over here too. And then maybe I'll do a little bit more of another little kids playground, playland sort of thing. Maybe a little splash pad to welcoming a Planet Coaster too. Yeah, but yeah, just doing a door, and then afterwards I want to do these kind of shutters that you will kind of like, you can see like that is, you can close them so the shop can be like closed at night and stuff. And I felt like that having these here added a lot more to the shop, and also a little bit more detailing, you know, around the whole thing. And I think that looks very cool. The only thing I add inside is the ones I made for the surf shack. I made these sort of little refrigerator with like sodas and stuff in, and I'm adding them inside here. You won't see it though, but that's mainly the interior. It's gonna be in here, and then afterwards it's mainly just wood pieces and hinges and stuff like that you can see. I'm trying to add a little bit of a marketing, kind of like so you can see what it is. But then I was like, why don't I just add like a little Palmetto Zoo sign here, and then make it work afterwards. As you can see here, I did a little bit in the background, trying to like incorporate and integrate more stuff to make it feel less and smaller. And also I will eventually connect the outer walls with each other, so you will eventually see how big the zoo will end up being. And it's a little bit of a mini zoo, as I said in the start, and was my whole goal with this. I did add a little bit more animals already than I had intended, that I planned out first. But we got like 2 new DLCs while I was building on this project here. So I was like, why not just add those new animals? Like, basically the cattle here and the goats were mainly the 2 newer animals that we've gotten after I started this whole project here. But as you can see, I did the barn, and then afterwards now I'm adding in the entrance for the guests and the keepers. And then afterwards I'm just kind of like adding some hedges around the fencing here, and also the newer ones that kind of like are a little bit more green and have a little bit more of a feeling to it, of being a hedge, an uncut hedge, more or less, a untrimmed hedge. I know the people are gonna roam around here as they want. I just still feel like having a little bit of a pathing in here would do the trick. It just makes it a little bit more organized. And I like that a lot. I like that a lot indeed. As you can see here, we got the kettles walking around, and now I'm just kind of like mixing up the 2 situations here, so we get all the patterns, all the textures, and all the habitat materials that we kind of need in this build here. And as I say, like, I'm a huge fan of this as well. What I think stand out here a lot is obviously the barn, but the whole fencing around and how it like integrates with the whole zoo really makes me happy. Because over here before it was very plain. I didn't really know what to do. I thought first of having chickens, but I was like, you know what, I kind of want the cows instead, because they're cute, and I don't feel like a lot of people have used them so much yet compared to the other animals. Or maybe I'm just wrong, but yeah. But as you can see, I use this wild hedgerow as I talked about, and it really adds to like the lushiness of this whole area here. And afterwards, I'm stealing some of the things I did for the goat, like the little enclosure of the ropes, which kind of like adds to it as well. It gives a little bit of a nice touch to it. And yeah, as you can see, everything is kind of like slowly getting together nicely now, and just doing a little bit of enclosure here too, so people won't go to the grass here. And we're kind of like just making the same thing with the hedges. And when you have these two combinations together, I really feel like it adds a lot to the whole area here. And this is going to be the only petting zoos we will have in Palmetto Zoo. We will have the goat and the cattle. I don't think I will add anything else from the barnyard pack. As I mentioned before, we'll have the meerkats that I know I want to do. We got the gators. We have to finish our reptile house. We gotta get in the nocturnal house. And then I might do like the quokkas or something from like the outback area. I think we need one more animal over there. We got the koalas, we got the kangaroos, we got the Tasmanian devil. If you guys have a suggestion of an animal you want to see in that area, let me know down below. I'm curious to see what animal you would see in Palmetto Zoo. And I can tell you the nocturnal house, as I said, we'll have 7-8 animals, from exhibit animals to actual animals. Articus have been working very hard to make it perfect with a lot of theming and integrate it very well into Palmetto Zoo. So I'm very excited to show you guys that when we get that far. I might also have a few people in my Discord, my community, some patrons, help me with building a few more things in the outskirts of Palmetto Zoo. That is also a little bit of a project that we gotta get started, because I want to have like some surroundings, so it feels like the zoo is like in the middle of a town or a city, something like that, right? So yeah, that'll be very interesting and fun to do. But as you can see here, I was like, there is still a top floor, so I can actually make it look like an actual barn with having a lot of materials, a lot of things on the top here. Not pack it too much, but you know, just a little. And afterwards there we are adding some stuff, some clutter pieces. And I was like, this was not really on the reference picture I found, but I felt like it would be awesome if I added some shutters to kind of like have them open or closed. And after I added that, I was like, this looks cool, and I just wanted to keep it. If you want to, let me know down below if you want this specific barn to be a blueprint on the workshop. I will gladly upload it for you guys if you want it. I'll just upload the blueprint itself, not the whole habitat, unless you really like the habitat. I can do that too, but let me know in the comments down below, guys. But mainly what we're doing now here is just finishing up, polishing the whole barn here, and just, yeah, you know, just making it look nice. And we're changing up the windows a little bit here, so it's not the same you get on each side, which is also very important to do. And then we're just doing a little bit of more enclosure here. And then afterwards, we're gonna add a few leaves and stuff on the top of the roof. And basically, we are kinda done with the outside of the habitat. We're going back inside just to add the last pieces that I told you guys, like the clutter, it's like the hay, a few barrels, and just finishing up and polishing it up a little bit inside, so it looks nice. And there is something to look at when you go inside as well. And what I think is cool is that the guest can interact. They can actually go into the barn, so it gives a little bit of an extra look that you have all these things around you when you go into the barn, that it actually feels like an actual barn. So we're putting the ladder here, and then afterwards we're just cluttering up the spot here, and that's pretty much it for today's Palmetto Zoo video, guys. I'm very excited that we are getting closer to the finish line, and let me hear what you think of this new addition to Palmetto Zoo, and what animal in the Outback section would you like to see of the ones that we don't have yet. Yeah, and if you like this content, please subscribe, and remember to join the Discord, where we have lots of Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo builders, fantasy and realistic builders. We have it all. And yeah, I'm just kind of done here now, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like if you think it deserves it, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.